So here we are. What is this? 12? 13? This is 13, right? Because we're always one more than the month, right?
No, I think it's the other way around because
we're one less. We're at 11. That's true. We're at 11. Good job, guys. Thank you for working with me on that one. We're at 11 for JROCK Onsen in that sweet fucking bath. I shouldn't say the F word in the first 3 seconds. Anyway, I'm here with Nexus.
Hello.
Yo, Sis.
boom boom.
Oh god, everybody's got their own new signatures. And NBT.
Crackly crack.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm gonna be glad when this year's over.
So gotta switch it up. We gotta switch it up next year.
Yeah. Okay. Hopefully it'll be like something that makes fucking sense.
Pick a different bird, maybe.
This podcast, we're focusing on, in our opinion, our biggest stories of the year. So like either something we wrote or something that was on the site that we want to get into detail on. So I'm gonna go on ahead and pass this one off to Nexus first, just because.
Oh, me.
Because you're the first one.
I don't want to go first.
I saw. Yeah, but you're going to.
No, we just want to get it over with your story, then we can.
Yeah, it's shit anyway.
Yeah.
So I guess. Well, I don't know. I don't want to go first.
Win. All right, MVT. Go on ahead.
Okay. So this year we got the honor to interview a lot of people.
Yeah.
And one of the guys is Izumi from, he was the vocalist of Dispatch Ray. And so it was quite a fantastic opportunity after being a fan of Dispatch Ray so many years and going to the concerts and finally be able to meet the guy and just sit down and have a nice talk with him. We went to like a cafe and had some tea. I forgot what he had, but I had like a sandwich and stuff. It was quite an experience.
Did you touch him?
I did touch him.
Ooh, it's always the best when you touch him.
So I also got a photo with him, so that was quite nice too. And when you kind of like get into the Visual-kei bands, you see them kind of like gods, and that's like a pretty normal perception, which is kind of bad, but still.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah, so it was quite funny to see that I was taller than him and how humble he was as a person. So
yeah, that's something I can agree with, having met, not a whole fucking parade of actual artists, but having met a few, they are definitely humble, even though some of the ones I met were Yosei Teikoku, and one of their things is they keep their persona on. Yui does it. You still get the impression that they're not like, respect me, I'm better than you, I'm a freaking artist, but personally, I don't really get starstruck at all. I know a lot of people do, and that reminds me of my buddy who gets starstruck even over YouTubers. Like, we went to Anime Expo, and he's like, "Oh, that's that one YouTuber at that booth." I'm like, "You want me to ask him if you can beat him off? Like, what's going on? Just go say, hey, I like your content."
Like, I know people who get starstruck about like fandom fanfic writers. Like, they would be in a fandom Discord, and a famous fanfic writer would come on, and everybody would be like, "Oh, this person is so amazing! Oh my god!"
That's another interesting thing too, though, because like I said, I don't really get starstruck. Like I'll meet someone in person, like, "Oh, hey, I really like your work," and then I'll kind of be like, "All right, I'm gonna fuck off because I know you don't want me to be all over here like, you're so great." But even like on Twitter and stuff, even like random doujin artists, if like they tweet something out, I'm like, "Hey, this is awesome," and they acknowledge that, like they like it or they comment back on it. I'm like, "Senpai, notice me! Oh my god!" And I get like super weird. Yeah, exactly. But, like, if I were to see them in person, I'd be like, "Hey, I love your work." And I wouldn't be all like, "I, really, like..."
No, but it's more like when you meet them in person, like, what would you actually say? Like,
"Hey, I like your work."
Sometimes it's just like, "Yeah, I like your work." And then it's like awkward silence in between. But this time I had
that's when you just get out of there. But yeah, so you had an interview, so you were like, "Hey, I like your work, so here's some questions."
But yeah, do you guys have any like thoughts or questions regarding
like THOT? What was the prep like for that? Because I know when I get prepped for one, like I feel like I have to know the artist inside and out, so I don't ask something just totally dumb like, "Oh, how's your cat?" from this one Wikipedia post I saw, and it's like, they've been dead for like 6 years. Thanks for asking, asshole.
Oh god.
Yeah, so in this case we focused on the like Izumi's designer kind of career. So it wasn't too hard because I interviewed him before. So yeah, this time it was more in depth of his collaboration with Genshin Records because he's going to bring out his products to the European market.
Mm-hmm.
So it was more focused on that side, but then I also was able to fit in some questions like how is it going from like being a rock star and then moving to a designer's lifestyle, because that's quite different from being like so much energy at work to be like in an office and like in front of a screen. Yeah. So basically the prep work wasn't too hard, but it's more like I wanted to get out as much as possible of the little details that fans would like to know, because it's been so long since Izumi entered like the music scene.
Yeah, that's a good point too. I mean, when we do our interviews, there's definitely like the part of us that's like, I'm a fan and I really want to know this. But then there's the responsibility to the readers where it's like, I need to get some stuff out there that they all want to know that I may not be too crazy about. And then you have to really respect the artist and be like, well, I got to know what they're here for, because they're not here just to sit down and have some tea with me. They're here for a reason. Yeah. They're here for this interview to get some promotion. And you definitely want to be able to give them what they want.
Yeah. So I think that was quite a nice experience, and yeah.
Sis, since we're throwing MBT out of the way here, what about you? What do you got for us?
Basically Akinori rejoining Lynch ordeal at the beginning around March time. So basically Akinori got arrested in 2018. So he got arrested in 2016, I believe, at the end.
Yeah.
And so he had to leave the band. They had a countdown on their website earlier this year, Anniversary Live, and they didn't state anything. But when that live had ended, Akinori came on stage. They had a whole like process and whatnot. Hitoki from Kuroyume was the bassist supporting them at the time, and he gave his bass, or Akinori's bass, to him, and that was like his initiation back into the band. And from then they've continued to perform with him in. Hopefully he's a permanent member again now.
All right. Well, Nexus, do you have anything for us?
Yeah. The biggest or most significant story that I took part in this year is like not really one article, but a compound of more than one article. It's the stuff that we did earlier in late spring, early summer with Mana and Mame Mathieu, when we did several articles, including like history articles about Mana and Mame Mathieu. We did an interview. Mana told us like his favorite Mame Mathieu items. We did a giveaway, and these were actually super popular, so I was super happy about that, because just like NBT was talking earlier about how he did the Izumi interview, and that was like the singer of the band that he used to listen to for so many years. Like, Mana is the thing, or one of the things that got me into JROCK alongside Gag. So I did say earlier that I don't get starstruck all that much, but when we were pushing out the articles and tweeting them, and he was retweeting them with comments, I was like, oh my god, Senpai noticed me, Senpai noticed my hard work.
How was it meeting Mana?
So it was fucking unreal, dude. It's like, I don't know, because with Mana, it's a little different than your regular JROCKers, I guess, because he's always in the hacking persona and stuff like that. And so finally getting to stand in front of him and touch his hands and realize that he's really freaking short, that was super weird.
Man, with Mana, I feel like my own existence within his vicinity would be disrespectful.
It's literally how he makes you feel. You like stand before him and you like think, I'm not worthy of sharing your space. Like, you are touching me, you are soiling your hands with my existence. Jesus fucking Christ, why would you do this?
why would you put yourself on my level even for just a moment?
Yeah, pretty much. And I totally cried like a bitch, and he was probably super like, what the fuck is this bitch doing? Jesus Christ.
He was probably like, they all do this.
Yeah, we all did, like, because it was in this like room that it was pretty much one-on-one or one-on-two because it was Mana and a staff member that translated for people that cannot tell him anything because they don't speak Japanese. So
Well, Mana doesn't talk anyway.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Also no Tolkien, but like, you could tell him stuff, and so that's why the
He's like-
translator was
like,
there.
Bitch.
That's really
Yeah.
nice, actually. I didn't think that was the case, but yeah, that's really nice.
And yeah, it was like there were people entering the room, and every time you saw a person coming out of the room, they were either like shaking really visibly or fucking crying, breaking the fuck down.
It's a soul shattering experience.
Yeah, and it was literally all like fancily dressed up lolitas in their best outfits because this was a Lolita convention, and you see them coming out of the room and they're fucking bawling their eyes out.
Wait. What were you dressed in? You said last time that you always dressed in band shirts. How were you dressed this time?
I was
G-string and thigh highs.
dressed in a cosplay of Lestat.
Did you guys have an orgy?
No.
Oh, what's the point then?
Yeah.
Like, to be honest, like I put great care into what I was wearing because I was going to stand in front of Mana in it. All right, I would not have him judge my shitty pick in clothing.
I would definitely.
That's probably why so many people put such great care into the outfits.
Yeah.
Like, Mana-sama is here to judge your clothing choices.
I don't
Choose
know if that's
wisely.
why he was there, but
Do you think you can like read his kind of like mood with just looking at his eyes?
I like to think that I can guess his emotion based on these subtle changes of his expression, but I dare not presume because I can be totally wrong.
Yeah, because he's trying to hold this like stone cold face. All
Yeah,
the
and
time.
when he was on stage, like multiple times, you could see that he was like trying really hard not to laugh because Kamijo was there with him, and Kamijo was doing stupid shit, and Mana was like, "Don't laugh, don't laugh, don't laugh."
Mana's like, hey, stop it. Waving his hand.
Years of experience trying to hold shit in, and
Yeah,
No kidding.
pretty much. But yeah, I'm with the articles. I'm of course not the only person that's responsible for those articles. Edo helped with them a lot, and Sis helped with them, and it was a nice group effort, and we are all very happy that it like actually worked out. Yay!
Yeah, why didn't you thank me?
Did you help also?
Oh
Okay,
my
MBT
God,
was
what a
also
dick.
No, I didn't do shit.
What a dick! What do you think me, huh?
get out, man.
What do you think me, man?
because nobody likes you, Mazo. That's
Go
why.
home, MBT, you're drunk.
Yeah.
I'm like
I mean,
the only
isn't-
one who's not drinking right now.
Isn't it the point of Christmas time to be like drunk pretty much all the time?
No.
I don't know.
In Slav countries, it is.
Anyway, so we've got your guys' top stories down. I guess it's my turn, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so to be honest, going into this topic and going into the end of this year in general, I was like, wow, this year sucked. but not because like
We did big shit.
yeah, not because as a whole we didn't do anything, but because for me in particular, I feel like I didn't get that involved with some of the acts out there that I really like, and for the most part there weren't a ton of releases. But I'm so wrong. Like, I'm so like in the present that I forgot that Kaika came out, and so did The Insulated World. And we've been doing this podcast the whole time. I didn't even think about that. I was like, oh shoot, there's so much that happened this year. So yeah, I mean, this started this year, and now we're here on episode 11, technically 12. So we've done it for a whole year consistently. So good on us, you know. Nobody watches, but that doesn't keep us down. We still put it out
there's
for
like-
our own entertainment.
Hey. There's like that, at least that one guy that watches it on YouTube and even comments on it. Bless that guy.
Yeah,
Shout out
seriously.
to you. I don't remember your name, but shout out to you. We love you.
It's definitely great to get the feedback from people. I mean, we even got some negative feedback at one point. That was awesome. I've never had haters before, so that was a good feeling.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, we do have to know what we need to improve,
Yeah, exactly.
even though we don't. Yeah,
Exactly.
So tell us your negative feedback, but don't be a dick about it.
I
because
don't want to
then
go into
we'll
too much
kind of
detail
get
because it's gonna make me sound like a dick or make them sound like a dick. So,
Probably. Yeah.
so we got some negative
Mamazo-
feedback, but I'm okay with it because it was helpful. I mean, we definitely there is. If you were to listen to everything, you would see there's a change at some point. It's not significant, but it was along the lines of what they were complaining about.
I think you forgot the like biggest Christmas miracle though,
Yes.
and it's a story that Mauser really likes because Gazette just announced the world tour.
Oh yeah.
Woo.
Mazo is of course coming to all the concerts. He's been
Mazo's
saving
the biggest
for
fan of
years.
the Gazette. You know, he's got all the merch and shit.
Yeah. Literally,
Stop.
Mazo is putting himself in financial ruin because he's going to buy VIP tickets for literally all of the concerts. All of them. Rook is going to be sick of him by the end of the tour.
You know, I don't really think so. I may not even go to this one at all because I wasn't that crazy about the Gazette. Everything they did after what was the one album that came out?
Stack Rubbish?
That one.
Stacked Rubbish.
Album they have.
Stacked Rubbish is good though. No, it was before 9th. What was it?
I know what you mean.
The Dogma?
Dogma.
Dogma.
Yeah, Dogma was good. I went to that tour. Was not too terribly impressed. Maybe it was the venue. Maybe it was they had an off night. Maybe because that's not great. But I'm not going to this tour, and that was one of the things that I feel like J. Jonah Jameson from Spider-Man, like when he's under attack and Spider-Man shows up and he's like, why? I wanted the police. Why is this asshole here? Even though he's like, he's great. Spider-Man's great. Everybody loves Spider-Man. Everybody loves Gazette. Gazette is great. They are good artists. There's no doubt about that. But for me, it's like, really? Gazette? I wanted literally any other band, but instead I got the Gazette.
Oh. I think that's like a general consensus with like a certain amount of people, which is fine, you know, because sometimes when big bands do world tours, whatever, people were either there's a big you can see the divide, and there's normally a big divide, and that, like I said, yeah, that's fine. So I respect those opinions, and you should respect them too.
I pity the fool.
I don't respect Mazo.
Okay, I don't respect women. Wait a minute. That makes me sound bad. What?
Well, that's her. And you guys are laughing.
So, yeah, I mean, that tour got announced. I'm not hyped about it. A lot of times I will go to shows just to support artists, even if I'm not crazy about them. I've been to...
Yeah, I do that a lot.
I've been to more than a few that I wasn't, like, at all excited about and ended up having an okay time at the very least, but it's just
okay, Rock.
I did see them actually. I did see them at Knotfest once. Not impressed. Yeah, I didn't even know they were there. Like, it was funny. I was like, oh, and I met them afterwards. Like, I didn't shake their hands and like, oh, my name's this, my name's that, my name's that. They were walking around and my friend was like, that's what okay, Rock. I'm like, okay, you want to suck their dicks or are you gonna go talk to them? And so we did go up to them, and I held the camera to take the picture of them. So why not both?
They were really cool with that.
As long as you didn't hold the camera to shoot your friend sucking their dicks.
It's just like thumbs up, like a peace sign, you know. but yeah, they were cool dudes. You know, again, good artists, just not my style, and that's fine.
Yeah,
and
because you know they charge a lot for taking photos, like when you buy these VIP tickets.
Yeah, I can't imagine what the VIP is going to be.
Yeah. Well. On that note, since we did kind of get into something recent, let's get into our quick little stories for this month. Do you want to start, MBT? You got anything?
But
aside from the Gazette that he gave us,
you got nothing else? You just derailed my year in review for Gazette, and you got nothing else, huh?
What is it?
Sorry, I didn't prepare any.
Okay, that's cool. So, since NBT already kind of threw in the recent stories / quick little news information bits, do you have anything you want to add to that, Sis? Do you have any stories from this month that you think people should know about?
Yeah, Kazuki and Daichi, both two guitarists from Nocturnal Bloodlust, left this month.
Holy shit.
Yeah, at the beginning of this month.
So, Nocturnal Bloodlust lost 2 members. Alright, well, Nexus, do you have anything for us? Any quick or slow or long or hard or soft medium bits for us?
I have a bit. Definitely.
Is it a big bit?
It's a bit.
Would you get in trouble for showing it on camera? Guys, these are all dick jokes. These are fucking gold. Write them down.
No, shut up.
Only
Nexus has a big hairy set of bits. Yeah. Let's go, Nexus.
What the hell?
Oh, come on!
It's so easy to get Nexus. You just have to talk about someone's Jennies. All right, let's go.
I have a shitty sense of humor. Fuck you. Anyway, the bit is I'm gonna talk more about mana because I feel like I need to tell you.
Okay, NDT, what do you got for?
I feel like I need to tell you that it has been announced this December that Mana will be attending an anime convention in Hawaii, which is endlessly amusing to me, but I'm happy for anyone in Hawaii.
Where the fuck is Hawaii?
Where is Hawaii?
Yeah.
It's actually close to Japan in a way. It's way off the coast of California. To even say it's off the coast of California is like bullshit. It's a little island way out there.
Literally all across the Pacific Ocean. Like,
yeah, like it's halfway to Japan from California. Like it's almost like a good little midpoint to like stop and be like, oh, it's pretty here. All right, let's go to horrible fucking California and see what that's like.
But there's a lot of Japanese people living in Hawaii, actually.
Yeah, there is definitely a large Japanese community in Hawaii. Hawaii is a great place, so if anybody out there has the means to get there, and especially if you're into mana, it would be an awesome thing to do. I've been there twice myself. It's beautiful, beautiful. Nexus, do you know where in Hawaii he'll be?
Oh, in Honolulu, I guess.
Okay, so the big island. Yeah, I've only ever been to Kauai. Kauai. But I've only ever been to that island. And that island's really awesome. It's like a little forest in its own way, but it's tropical, obviously. Well, with that bit of extra mana for your breakfast, let's get into the social media stuff. So this month we are doing, if you could play as any role in a band, what would you choose? So this was something we asked the people, the readers, the listeners, the heart of the show. We asked them what they would choose, and I see that it's not overwhelming in any direction. Everybody's like totally open to be just about anything. Vocalist did win, of course, but drummer came in last place. Guitarist and bassist were very close. And I gotta say, personally, I would pick bassist just because I like the bass. I can barely play mine, but I like it. But one of the comments that I found here was the person's name is Too Gay to Lift. It says, I can't do any of these, but y'all be lying if you didn't choose vocalist, the face of the band. Which I think it's true that a lot of people are like, oh, I wanna be just like them. I wanna be just like them, you know. The singer of the band, they want to be just like Ruki. They want to be just like Kyo. They want to be just like Mana. Well, Mana's not the vocalist. That was dumb. That was hardcore dumb.
Yeah, that was pretty fucking dumb.
Everybody wants to be the face of the band. I think that's why I did call out Mana, because he's he is the face of the band, but he's the guitarist. Yeah. I know that.
Like, you have this with Yoshiki as well. I mean, he's not the
vocalist. But he's the drummer. So maybe that's why it is so spread out the way it is, because in this scene, you can totally be the face of the band without being the vocalist.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
What about Sis? What would you be? What would you be? Tell me.
Don't actually
faster.
No, I can't. I don't have one. That's the thing.
You wouldn't be one at all?
I love all of them.
All right, Sis would be the sound guy. He'd set up the speakers and he'd pick up the microphones when they fell down. Would you get me water now? It was a joke.
What's a joke?
So Sis, would you wouldn't pick any?
It's like when I'm listening to music in general, pick out like if it's like a bass focused song, I will pick up the bass, and if it's like a guitar focused song, I will pick up the guitar. And sometimes this all kind of molds together and fuses, and I just love everything. But because I just love every single instrument.
Well, that's an interesting point, because I get where you're coming from with that, where like in different songs and bands and performances, you like certain aspects of them more. And I can say I agree with that, but at the same time, it's more of a, what would you want to be a part, how would you like to be a part of that experience? Like, I say bassist because I like bass, but there are, definitely times where I'm like, dude, I love this song and I sing along to it. And there are other times where I see a drummer who's so great, I'd be like, dude, I'd love to be able to play like that. But honestly, the one that I'm least interested in, despite the fact that there are, people out there who I see them performing and I'm like, wow, they're awesome, but I never think, I wish I could be like them, is guitarists. I have no interest in being a guitarist.
I would be a guitarist, yeah.
Oh, what?
Didn't you just say that you couldn't pick?
I couldn't pick, yeah, but if I had to pick one...
Okay.
Then you can pick.
Gun to the head, pick one. No!
No.
Okay, so the same thing that Mauser brought up about guitarists, I feel the same way, but as a vocalist, I wouldn't want to do that shit. I would...
Shit.
Yeah, I would mainly stick to drums because that's a lot, like, there's so much energy in being a drummer and there's so much stuff going on there.
Yeah,
to sum up my thoughts, I would pick the drum position, even though they don't get that much face attention, I guess, but I don't really care too much about that.
Nexus, what about you?
I'd probably also pick the drummer, honestly.
Oh my god, Nexus has no original ideas.
I'm sorry.
Like, at all. In that empty head of yours, there's no originality.
Shut the fuck up. It's literally hard for me to pick because I am like
it's literally hard.
I'm so removed from any musical abilities. Like, I cannot play anything, even a little bit. I cannot sing, so it's hard for me to even like imagine that I would be doing this stuff.
You saying that our problem is different, really, because I imagine a lot of those fans, or there's a percentage of the fans that don't know how to play an instrument as well. So you're cutting it thin, Nexus.
Nexus, you have to pick one.
Nexus!
I would probably pick the drummer because, as I said before, I'm not in any way musically inclined. So I cannot like really imagine like creating music the way the guitarists do and the vocalists with the lyrics and all that shit. And like technically the drummer is like, in most bands the drummers are kind of overlooked or underappreciated, but at the same time, when you are performing, the drummer like literally carries the performance because you carry the beat. So you literally are important, but can also stay kind of low key, and that appeals to me. So probably
I get that. I feel like a lot of people look at the drummer too, who like don't understand music and are like, look at this guy, he's just hitting shit with sticks. But there's definitely a lot more that goes into it.
Yeah.
That's exactly how my mom says, like, drums.
So, alright, well, on that note, I guess we're pretty much done here today. Hopefully we can get this out before the end of the year, but if not, it'll be a nice treat to start the year off with a look back at the year before. So on that, I've been your host, Mazo. We have co-host Nexus.
Hello.
I like to say Nexus. I don't know why. I think it's funny. And then we have co-host Sis.
Blah, blah.
And then our special guest, NBT.
Herp, herp, herp.
Is this your thing for the new year?
Quack, quack.
I hear the quack in the background. We need to do this one.
ありがとう、マトさんありがとう。